Hello everyone, this is Noor from Sacred Roots Homestead. I'm just doing maybe a 15-minute video update. It's been a hot July afternoon. I just made a video but somehow it got deleted, so this is my run with my chickens, my coop. I have all different type of breeds in here. I'll do another video on chicken care if you'd like, or at least to get you started. I have at least 25 laying hens, and they're still laying even in the heat, just a little less than usual. And then I have ones over here, Easter eggers, that are supposed to lay blue eggs, that they should be laying in about a month. I did not grow up on a farm. I just decided to do homesteading, and so far so good. Just not the neatest setup, but it does what it needs to do. It has the purpose. Funny thing, I throw the scratch over the fence and the corn planted itself here. But anyway, I have Ice Browns, I have Brahmas, Silver Lace Wyandottes, Black Astrolorps, I want to say Plymouth Rock, maybe, the black and gray one, but kind of like a tiger stripe, you can see. Well, we can't really focus well through the fence here. But anyway, get yourself some chickens, and I'll give you another video on how to get going with that, which is, getting going is quite simple. I have some younger ones here that just let the mom hatch out. She is, I believe, a Serama, golden lace Serama, the British chicken, British breed, and she hatched out her babies herself, and they're doing great, very healthy, almost half the size of the mother now. And no, I don't leave the water dirty, just the end of the day. And I put them on fresh grass almost every day if it's not too hot and not too, windy or rainy. And I put them on the fresh grass so they can eat, and because they're too small to be put in with the big chickens right now. But they're beautiful. 2 of them have green eyes and 2 have black eyes like the mom. And she lays a smaller egg, but by the time she's at this size, they're still a good size egg. They're about a medium sized egg. When they start out, they're real tiny. And I believe they're all female, which is great. They have way too many roosters. But it's about time for them to go inside. Like I said, I'll do a chicken care video. I made this midway cage out of PVC pipe myself. You just connect it like an erector set, and then twist tied garden fence around it, a little chicken wire, because I have a huge hawk problem here. Well, not a problem, but the hawks, I have tall trees, I'm in the forest, and they stake out all day long. That's why I gotta have the bird netting, and I put it green so they don't hurt themselves, because if they can't see the bird netting, then they get stuck in the net, and that's not good. But yeah, I have quite a big hawk population here. But I get plenty of eggs, and when I get too many eggs and I don't have enough customers, because I live in the country, so a lot of people have chickens here, then I water glass the eggs. So I can show that process another time. Hey. I have a feisty rooster over here. She's just a baby. Leave her alone. Anyway, that's that. Next time I'll go inside so you get a better view of the birds. So I noticed today, don't mind my messy compost area, I have wood chips over here from tree. And I use that for multi-purposes. And then I have my chicken bedding compost piles, which need to be balanced out. But I just noticed I have corn growing in the compost pile and about 5 beautiful tomato plants, maybe more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got 5 beautiful tomato plants in here along with the corn. That's pretty funny. So I'm gonna take those out and replant them now so that I can put them in my tomato area, because I want to keep having a succession of tomatoes. Therefore, if some get sick or die or don't produce well, I have more coming. So you want to do succession with tomatoes, succession with onions, succession with potatoes, lots of succession. My roosters are very, very cheeky. I'm gonna have to separate them if they don't stop. So I'm gonna show you my potato bed, which is a hot mess right now because they're all dying off. And there's weeds galore, even though I put all kind of mulch down. I just took out my garlic harvest, so it doesn't really look like a garden. I'm just gonna show you it. So in here I have a couple different types of potatoes. For some reason, and I also have green beans I planted, which are going fine. You can see them there, the green leaves right there. I have some cauliflower, broccoli. I don't know how they're going to do it. It's too hot for them. But they're looking like they're starting to pick up their growth now, so I'm thinking to give them some fertilizer, and they might get over to the fall, and then they'll do great in the fall because they really don't like hot weather. Brassicas. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show is this is my pumpkin patch. I also have some melons in here. They just started flowering. And I got one female here. Show me the baby. There's the baby. I'm not sure if I need to pollinate it or not. I'm doing a video. And I just lifted up the vines in this tomato cage to help it a little, get some better aeration. But I have 2 different kinds of pumpkins in here. One big boy and one other type, I don't know what it's called. This is a eggplant. I just randomly put it over here. This ground is covered with the cardboard and compost. I didn't really thoroughly cover it because I needed to use most of my compost for another area. So the eggplants look like they're gonna, believe me, they're gonna get big, because the ones I had before got attacked by beetles and they look like nothing, and then I got them back to life. So that's my other big one. And there's no babies here yet. It's all male flowers, but vining very nice. I don't see any vine borers, and I water them frequently just to make sure they don't dry out. Bear with me. I'm not the best camera person. This is my nettle ground cover, which I believe they can be used for medicinal purposes. These are native, I believe. They're very nice. I have daisy fleabane, which is also a medicinal plant, and chickens can eat it. I have watermelons growing here, all sweet and sugar baby. I've never grown watermelons, so we'll see how they do. But they're vining nicely, just waiting for the flowers. And I'm gonna enclose it because I have lots and lots and lots of bunnies and chipmunks and squirrels and mice and all kind of things that trying to eat up everything. Then I have 3 sugar baby watermelons right here. Now I did a plot here with corn, sunflowers, squash, which is huge. It's like twice the size of my head, those leaves. And they're all flowering. The problem is now the grass is growing in between it, and I don't know which one is the corn and which one is the grass. So I don't want to pull anything out. But I also don't want a giant mess. I have some acorn squash growing here. And green beans are in here underneath the corn stalks. This one is climbing up, as you can see. The corn, that's called the Native Sisters technique, which the Native Americans used. I have some, you're not really supposed to plant eggplant in this crop, but I did it anyway, and it's doing well. No flowers yet, but these 3 eggplants I have over here were decimated, and they came completely back to life with my hot pepper and garlic and onion spray. We got rid of the pests, mostly. I mean, when you look at the size of the squash, I'm not sure if this is a pumpkin or a butternut squash, but my hand, look how big the leaves are. They're huge. And the beautiful sunflowers attract lots of bees. All morning long I have bees here. And I'm hoping they'll leave some of the sunflower heads. Oh, there's a bee right there. Let's zoom in. See them? There's a lot of people saying that there's no bees due to many, many reasons, geoengineering and everything else. You know, that stuff they spray in the sky kills plants and wildlife. And the bee is over here doing his thing. So yeah, you can harvest the stalks of the sunflowers and make flour out of the inner part when you dehydrate it, I believe. This is a butternut squash, which is huge. I'm gonna have to, thinking about fertilizing it. I do have compost down. I had a bad experience recently trying to fertilize my potatoes, and it killed their roots, so I had to harvest whatever was growing right away. I have wild strawberries growing around the oak tree stump here, which also produces a hen of the woods in mid to late fall. Well, it did last year anyway. And yeah, so all around the perimeter I have these squash. Squash are great for preservation. If you take care of them and turn them, they can last many, many months, and that's a good source of food and vitamins in these difficult times ahead. So, the corn is doing great. I probably could have planted a lot more, but it's my first time trying, and I like how it looks. Right here I have green beans growing. You can see them, they just started coming out. These are bush beans. They don't really need a support, but I just put something in there so they don't go flopping over the side. Alright, this bed, I just only been here 2 months, and everything's going crazy in here. This has cow manure in it, and there's lots of cucumbers growing. There's a big one over here. And these grow, these are, look at all those over there. Can you see them? They're growing at like super fast speed. They were tiny, and now they're huge. And these were leftover tomato plants, and they are growing great right here. It's a little bit shady, so we'll see how the fruit sets, which should be soon. These ones I have in pots have been dealing with some blight and some pest issues, so they're very heavily pruned at the moment, but they all have fruit set. They have lots of fruit set on here. Lots and lots of cherry tomatoes. is a smaller one, which you can keep these tomato plants until fall, and then they will make another harvest. They should if they stay healthy. So they'll probably be a lot better and healthier once it gets cooler. You can't plant tomatoes from seed this late, but you can, if you have starts, you can do that, or you can work on the ones you already have going and just keep feeding them. As you see, I have pest issues here, eating all the leaves. So what all of the experienced gardeners say to do is prune off almost all of those branches when they're turning yellow or bit up like that. This is definitely a bug, but my other plants behind me had, I believe, a fungal thing, because I'm in the woods and it gets very humid and not exactly as sunny as I like it. So we're battling that. And I have pepper plants in the back here, which I might have to relocate because it's not quite sunny enough. Peppers love lots of sun. They're growing great, but they're really getting crowded by the cucumbers and tomatoes. I just threw everything in here because I didn't have that much space, and now that they're bigger, I might have to put them in pots. That's what I might do. Peppers, believe it or not, you can take peppers and you can overwinter them in the house. So I believe I'm going to start putting tomatoes and peppers in large 5 to 10 gallon pots. There's certain things you want to grow in the ground or beds, and there's certain things that are much more beneficial in pots because you can move them if the weather is not good, if it gets too hot, or if it gets too rainy, or if there's not enough sun, you can move them. That's the beauty of having them in grow bags or pots. This is my eucalyptus. It's growing beautifully. I think it's starting to flower or go to seed or something. I just started the cilantro about 2 weeks ago. It's growing nice. Having problems with my marigolds. They're just not cooperating. There's some basil. Not sure what this plant's called, but it's struggling along here. Has pretty flowers. This is my herb, 3-tier herb bed, and I have strawberries and mint on top, but so far the birds, or whatever, I don't know what's gotten in there, but it's getting in there and getting every single strawberry. But I'm not going to cry about it, because what I'm going to do is strawberries give another harvest in the fall. Apparently they can get through these holes, so what I'm going to do is put some row covers or garden tool and pin it down so nothing can get in there to get these strawberries. And I'll probably rehome the mint because it's not doing its job of keeping pests out. This is my parsley going crazy, flat Italian leaf parsley. It's been very prolific. I love it. And my thyme and a nice large oregano plant. I'm going to make oregano oil with that. I have, I believe, a San Marzano here. If not, then it's a pear. I'm thinking San Marzano. It's got a lot of fruit on it. They're not ripe, but they just started fruiting, so I'm watching those. I have celery back here. That one was doing excellent, and then I took some out, cut some off, and now it's like not happy with me. But the one behind the box is still growing great. So next time I'm not going to touch them until they're fully grown. I have these 2 tomato plants. I can't remember what they're called, but they were stragglers looking half dead, and then I brought them back to life. And they're setting lots of fruit. And this is a pickling cucumber bed. And I planted these 2 weeks ago from seed, and they are growing great. I did start them in solo cups, but pretty much cucumbers and zucchini and squash, they make huge leaves. So as soon as they are about a couple inches high, then transplanted them into this bed that my son made for me from just random wood that I had around. And these peppers I have put in here. We'll see how they do. That's probably not a big enough space for them, but sometimes you got to put them in a midway point, to keep them alive. And there's 2 eggplants here. So I just got to fertilize them and see how they do. Now this looks like nothing because I had to heavily prune my tomato bed. This is my main tomato bed. So it looks like a bunch of sticks, but that purpose of that is to keep disease away. If you look closely, there's lots and lots of tomatoes. But if you see the leaves are having issues, some type of fungal problem. So I'm pretty much taking off all of the leaves. But there's lots of tomatoes, even though it looks very stringy. So, they're just everywhere. And I believe in about 2 weeks, they're just going to all ripen and I'm gonna have buckets of tomatoes. This is my carrot bed. I did not thin them out. I don't know what I did, but I got some good ones out of it, but the rest I'm just gonna pull everything out. I think I'm gonna plant either my brassicas in here or I'm gonna plant my sweet potatoes in here with some type of companion plant. Because this is a nice deep bed, so I need to use it for something substantial. You can eat the carrot greens and you can even make pesto out of them, so don't waste that. Look how tall these guys are. These tomatoes back here. I'm gonna have to get some larger stakes. These are indeterminate, which means they'll just keep growing higher and higher and higher. And they're better because they keep growing. You can kind of get 2 seasons out of them if you started early in the house. This is my pepper bed. Well, there's tomatoes in here too, but I have mainly hot peppers in here and a few green pepper plants. And you can see them, there's peppers on there. I'm gonna make canned, pickled, jalapenos or whatever. They don't look super happy, but they're doing okay. I don't know if this bed got a little too soggy. Something's going on. Because, no, I have regular green peppers coming out now. So, just need to make sure that I don't get it too soggy. I have another cherry tomato plant here with loaded cherry tomatoes. And this is eggplants. We'll see how they do. They're kind of getting blocked from a lot of sun from the tomatoes right behind them. But we'll see how they do. If anything, I'll take the best ones in about 2 weeks and transplant them somewhere else. And look at this tomato plant. These are big. These are not cherries, these are big tomatoes. This one looks a little blossom rot, but there's lots and lots of buds everywhere. So I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot more, especially in the fall. And these are San Marzanos. So I hope that one is gonna give me a lot more. But it's got a good amount in here. I just cleared out this bed. I'm deciding what I'm gonna put in there. No deep roots, obviously, but something that can handle a little bit of shade. Maybe some more lettuce or greens. Yeah, so that's about it. My blueberry bushes are growing decently, but they did not produce how I thought they would. I don't know if I didn't have the soil right. I definitely fed them and watered them. Sometimes you just don't know. It's all learning process. In this bottom bed here, I have planted out new stuff. Can't remember what. But I planted stuff in here. You can see little sprouts coming. So, yeah, that's about it. Lots of tomatoes, lots of cucumbers, and squash. And the reason why I haven't planted so many tomatoes, because I want to can tomatoes. So I want to have, a good amount, hopefully. We'll see. And I want to can the green beans. I have green beans planted here, bush beans. I have pole beans planted in here, and in that other wrecked up looking potato bed that I showed you. But anyway, this is Noor from Sacred Roots Homestead. Hope you enjoyed today's content. Please like, share, and subscribe. And see you on the next video. Peace.